Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the start of my 2022 ranking my entire makeup collection series. We're going to be starting with primer today, but as long as I can keep myself accountable and stay on track, every single Friday until we've ranked my entire makeup collection, I will be coming to you with a ranking a specific category of makeup. And again, today we're going to start with primer. I do this every single year. I've done it for the last few years and I really enjoy filming this series every single year just to kind of see how my preferences change throughout the year, and like sometimes what was a favorite one year is not a favorite anymore. And I also just think it's really fun to rank makeup. So I have 13 primers to rank for you guys today. Again, this is going to be the first category. I will likely do foundations next week, and I may sprinkle in, like I may interrupt this series some Fridays to sprinkle in like ranking all of the new makeup that I've tried or something like that. But we're gonna get through, eventually we're gonna get through my entire makeup collection, or entire, yeah, each category in my makeup collection. I'm rambling. If you guys are interested to see how I would rank my primer collection, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project painting content, ranking makeup content, or just chit-chatting about makeup, I hope you'll consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's get into the video. All right, you guys, if you are long-time subscribers, you may know that I used to have a severe obsession with primers. For some reason, primer was like my favorite thing to try new primers of, which is just like ridiculous because you like think there's people who don't even use primers because they don't believe in them. I will say I still feel so odd if I don't use a primer, but I'm not as die-hard of a primer person as I used to be. It's not like, I don't think I've purchased any new primers this year. Like looking at this, I'm like, no, I have one primer that I got in PR, but I don't think I've purchased a new primer in such a long time. And it used to be like I would literally get so excited about every new primer release. So like I said in the intro, I do have 13 primers to rank. I decided not to rank like my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. That can be kind of like a dual purpose product. Like sometimes I use it as a primer, sometimes I use it as a highlight. I decided not to rank those products. So I just have 13 to rank, and we're gonna start with my least favorite. And I thought I liked this product, but I've really come to like not like it as much. And I use this today. This could be the reason, because my makeup just like didn't go well today. And I feel like I'm blaming this right now. Maybe this isn't to blame, but this is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. They did send this over to me at the beginning of the year. And I will say with the e.l.f. gripping primers, they are so sticky. It sometimes feels like you're literally like spreading glue on your face, which is how I feel. This is to allow 30 seconds to set before going in with your makeup. So I was trying this with a new foundation today, one from Chanel, and I was expecting the Chanel to just look better. So maybe it's the new Chanel foundation. Maybe I didn't let this set long enough, but I feel like this sat on my face for at least 5 to 10 minutes before I went on with that foundation. And then my foundation just like, it did not go on well. So I feel like I'm blaming this, and that's why like now I'm filming this video and I'm like, this is my least favorite of my collection. But this would have ranked towards the bottom regardless of today's application, just because I feel like I have better gripping primers in my collection. Coming in at number 12, I have the Tarte Glowtion Skin Perfector. The only reason I'm ranking this at number 12 is because honestly, this is just a primer I could really take or leave. I really could use this as like a glowy lotion all over the body, and I don't ever really use this as a primer. Sometimes I'll use this as a face moisturizer. Like last summer, I was using this as a face moisturizer to add a glow to the skin, but never as like a primer. Like sometimes I would put a primer on before putting this on, and I don't know. I don't really see the purpose of this. I believe I got this in a BoxyCharm, and I just, you know. Coming in at number 11 is another gripping primer. This one is from LYS. I'm pretty sure this one ranked pretty low last year as well. This is the Secure Skin Gripping Primer Serum. I actually am looking at this right now. I should try and pan this soon because I actually feel like it must have been the way it was laying. I was like, now it's filling up quite a bit. When I first tried this, I thought I really liked this, but again, I think sometimes gripping primers are just so finicky and you have to let it set for like the perfect amount of time. So there's been times I've worn this with different foundations that it just like, the foundation then clings to the primer, just very weird. So I think in general, gripping primers just are not really my jam. I think that might be the realization that I'm coming to. This is not something I would repurchase, and I have a gripping primer that I'm ranking higher than this that I would recommend over this. So that's where we sit with the LYS. Coming in at number 10 is another gripping primer. It is the e.l.f. Mint Melt Cooling Face Primer. Now I will say I don't mind this primer. I've never had any issues with my foundation sitting weird on top of this primer. I just have so many other primers in my collection that I prefer over this one. I think I purchased this one. I did purchase this one because so many people were comparing this to like the Milk Hydro Grip Primer and the Urban Decay Stay All Night or All Nighter Gripping Primer. So I wanted to test it out for myself. I do think this is very similar to those primers, specifically the Milk Hydro Grip. The Urban Decay I'm ranking in this video higher. I think just is easier to work with in terms of a gripping primer. So I find this more comparable to like the Milk Hydro Grip. Again, not a bad primer, not something I would repurchase when I finish. It's okay. Next up I have the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. This is a dewy primer. This is very sticky as well. I purchased this myself, I think, as well. Because so this had been on my wish list for over a year before I actually purchased this. This is really nice and glowy, but still has this like glue sort of feel to it. It's just a weird feeling when you put it on your skin. I don't feel like I would repurchase this when I finish it, although I maybe could see myself, I don't know. I feel like I don't like it, but then I feel like I'll like itch to use this sometimes. Like it's like and by don't like it, I mean, it's just not my favorite primer. So it's not like the primer that I get excited to reach for in the morning, but then there's times where I'm like itching to use this. So I don't know. If you're looking for a gripping, glowy primer, I think like this is definitely something that you're going to enjoy. Again, I haven't ever had foundation sit weird on top of this one. It's just such a sticky texture. Like, let me see if I can capture what I'm talking about on camera. Not really. It's just, it truly has this like glue feeling to it, but it does give a really beautiful glow to the skin, which I do love it for that. And it does have a really actually good grip to it. Yeah, maybe I would repurchase this again. Currently this is ranking at number 9. Maybe next year it'll rank higher, because now I'm like, oh, would I actually rank the Jelly Pop above the one I'm about to talk about? I don't know. We're just gonna, you know what, I'm taking this ranking way too seriously. Coming in at number, I think we're at 8. Yes, coming in at number 8, I have this one from RMS. This is the Re-Evolve Radiance Locking Primer. They did send this one to me, and it's a really beautiful glowy primer, but not like too glowy. And it's super hydrating. Oh yeah, I haven't used this in a while. I forgot how nice this feels. So this one is really expensive. I want to say this retails for like 42 bucks, which is why I'm ranking this one a little bit. Like, I don't know if I actually would see myself repurchasing this primer for that price, but it is a really, really beautiful, hydrating yet glowy primer. This is one that I can see myself quite frequently this summer reaching for if I'm not wearing foundation, but I just want to add a little glow to the skin. I could see myself reaching for this. It just feels really nice on the skin as well. So this would be my number 8. Coming in at number 7, I have this one from Catrice. This is the Prime and Fine Poreless Blur Primer. I have like a love-hate relationship with pore filling primers. I either think a pore filling primer is really great or really awful. This is one that actually took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting this to be really good just because it was from the drugstore. I was very hesitant about it, but it reminds me a lot of the Smashbox pore filling primer, the photo finish primer, but this is better in my opinion. This really does smooth out the skin. It can be pretty mattifying and a little bit drying, but nothing too bad. And I honestly find myself like wanting to reach for this, which tells me something, because oftentimes I prefer like a more hydrating primer, but I think this is really good, especially for drugstore pricing. I definitely do recommend that one. Coming in at number 6 is my highest ranked gripping primer. If you, well, not even, yes, no. I have one gripping primer ranking higher than this, but coming in at number 6, after all is said and done, this is my Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Glow Primer. So I don't think I would repurchase this again. I do think it's a really nice gripping primer, but it's just very expensive. And like, I don't know if I love a gripping primer, truly, because I just feel like, and I've never actually had this not look good with any foundations, but I just feel like sometimes I think in my head gripping primers are so finicky. This is a nice option for a gripping primer. It just is more expensive, and usually I like a pore filling or hydrating primer over a gripping primer. Like, that's what I value more in a primer over like an actual like grip. But I still think this is really good, especially if you're looking for or you love a gripping primer. This would be a good option. So then coming in at number 5 is my highest rated gripping primer, and it is my Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer with 12-hour makeup grip. This is really nice. It is sticky and it does have that grip to it, but it does truly feel just so hydrating on the skin. I am someone who does suffer from dry skin, so having some hydration from my primer is definitely something that I personally look for and love. So I love this. It's a great price at the drugstore as well. Definitely recommend checking this one out if you love a hydrating or a gripping primer. Coming in at number 4, I think this was my highest rated last year. This is my First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Hyaluronic Hydrating Primer. Every year my First Aid Beauty primers are like in the top spots, and I feel like it just like it toggles back and forth every year, but I think I've officially decided that the Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer is officially my favorite. This one is really nice. It's really nice and hydrating. This one has a grip to it, I feel like, without being like a gripping primer. I'm almost finished with mine. As you can tell, I've been working on this diligently throughout a project this year, but I think I just like the coconut one just a little bit more. Both are hydrating, and the coconut one offers a little bit of like a shimmery summer glow, has like a coconutty sort of like summery scent to it, and it just like gives me all the good vibes. So that's really why I prefer the other one to this. I still think this is an amazing primer. I love the First Aid Beauty primers. You cannot go wrong, truly. But this year, this one's ranking number 4. Coming in at number 3, I love and adore this primer. I've really fallen in love with this year. But I just prefer a hydrating primer. That's the only reason this is ranking at number 3. This is my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. This is the most incredible pore filling smoothing primer I have ever used. The smallest amount goes the longest way with this, and it truly does just like fill and blur the skin. Even if I'm not doing any sort of makeup, I'll often pop this on my skin just to truly smooth my skin out. It literally adds like a filter to your skin. It like truly does. It's not just like hot words to put in a video. Like, this truly filters my skin. The only reason I'm ranking this at number 3 is because it is just a little bit more mattifying. So sometimes I just need a little bit of hydration, and I'm going with a hydrating primer over this, although typically I still layer the two. I don't know. I'm like, shoot, should I have ranked this at number 1? No, this is still gonna be my number 3, but this is something I will continuously repurchase and always want to have in my collection. If you need a mattifying primer, if you need a smoothing primer, go check this one out from Tarte. Coming in at number 2 is the one I was just raving about. Not number 1, but number 2 is going to be my First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer. A beautiful hydrating primer, adds a bit of a glow to the skin. It's really not gonna fill your pores. It's gonna grip your makeup a little bit, but it's really just going to hydrate your skin and give it a healthy glow. And I just love that, or love this primer for that. This is truly the primer that like kicked off my primer obsession. So I feel like there's just like this tie I feel to this primer as well, just because, again, like when I first started using this primer is when I can remember starting to like really get into primers as well. So there's just like that little piece of nostalgia to it as well. But I absolutely adore this primer. If you love hydrating, if you love the smell of coconut, if you love a bit of a glow from your primer, you're gonna love this. Definitely go check it out. And then coming in at number 1, I believe this was my number 1 last year as well. It is the Milani Chill Out Smoothing Primer with wild oat extract and ceramides. This truly does have a bit of a cooling sensation to the skin, but it really does just feel very nice and like calming and soothing on the skin. It also does smooth the skin out without being heavy on the skin or having like a silicone sort of feel. It doesn't feel like disruptive on the face, and I just absolutely adore this. You can't, the price is right. I want to say it's like maybe $9.99, $12.99 at the most. You can get it at Target. I adore this primer. I cannot rave about this. I cannot recommend this enough. Truly, if you want hydrating and smoothing, but also adds like a calming sensation to the skin, I I love this primer. Definitely recommend it. You gotta go check it out if you haven't. But those are my 13 primers in my collection and how I would rank them from least favorite all the way to my favorite. I would love to know, what are some of your favorite or least favorite primers? How would you rank your primer collection? Let a girl know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video, for supporting my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.